is the Fade 5 Podcast with Brad Evans and Nate Lundy.
Place your bets, you jackwagons, because indeed the Fade 5 Podcast presented by Suavecito Tequila. Go to Total Wine and More tonight and throw yourself a little betting fiesta. Pick up a bottle of Añejo, por favor, at any Total Wine and More. Brad Evans here. And the good son, Nathaniel Lundy. It's a Friday. We got NBA playing games. NHL playoffs are about to start. We're very much knocking at the door of the second season in that sport. And, of course, an overloaded slate of Major League Baseball. So what we've been doing at the top of the podcast, and by the way, of note, we're going to have brand new episodes throughout the spring and summertime of the Fade 5 Podcast on Tuesdays and Friday. We have heard your demands. You were saying, I need consistency. I need to know what days you guys are going to record and post the podcast. So every Tuesday, every Friday, there's going to be some vacation time baked in there at some point, but, we may go solo missions when that happens, or I may just do it like 10 drinks in. Who the hell knows? I got my Hawaiian party shirt on for a reason. I am not going to Hawaii. My wife is tomorrow, so I'm trying to put myself in that tropical mood for her, though it is 80 degrees, blistering 80 degrees here in central Illinois today. Let's get on the plus bus. Honk, honk. Lundy, give me your favorite longer odds wager. Could be tonight, could be this weekend. Pick your poison here, plus 100 or greater. What do you got for me?
Let's roll here. First of all, get ready for the weather to change because it was 80 here, and it's supposed to snow this afternoon. So plus odds, I'm gonna ease into it because bonus time is going to be freaking sexy today. So we're going to have some fun in bonus time. However, let me get you started with a nice, simple plus odds bet. They're doing the battle down in Texas. And no, I don't mean the Alamo. I mean the Astros and the Rangers. Give me one Kyle Tucker. Take the over on 1.5 total bases on KT, which you can get at plus 110. The reason this matters is because over at FanDuel, it's actually minus odds, but DraftKings right now is giving it to you at a plus 110. Why do I like Tucker? It's all about the matchup. Perez will be on the bump for the Rangers, and Kyle has himself a 438 lifetime average against Mr. Perez, and included in that are a couple of doubles. But what I love the most, this is one of the things I look for when I'm looking for total bases. He has 17 at-bats against Perez, and Brad only 1K in all of those. So I love that. When I see a guy that I know can get bat on ball, that matters to me. So give me Tucker plus 110. Again, that's over at DraftKings. At FanDuel, it's minus odds. But DK's given us a little bit of a bonus. Try to jump on that one early because it could change throughout the afternoon.
Deep in the heart of Texas. I like that play quite a bit on Kyle Tucker. I'll crush a few dozen Lone Star beers in honor of that wager. And also along with this.
Shiner. Screw
Shinerbach is outstanding stuff. Brewed right down there in Shiner, Texas. I've drinking many of those over the course of the decades. And it seems like it's been decades that I've been wagering on a number of stolen base props because if you have been doing so, you are rolling in the green and piles of cash right now, especially on Cedric Mullins. And I'm going back to that well tonight. Remember the Baltimore Orioles taking on the Southsiders of Chicago, the White Sox there. The juice has come tumbling down on a lot of these stolen base props because we've seen such a spike in swipes in Major League Baseball. So it's only plus 145. So kind of a little babysitter's by the juice at BetMGM. But Mullins, who is 6 for 6 in stolen bases this season, I think it's number 7. He did swipe a bag last night. Why? Because Mike Clevenger is on the mound for the Chicago White Sox. He has given up 4 stolen bases so far this season. I know Mullins is batting less than 200 on the year, not so robust like 187 with a 273 OBP, and he's been hitting anywhere between 1, 8, or 9 in the order, but typically a leadoff man. I think he's going to be in that pole position tonight. He is 2 for 2 lifetime against Clevenger in his career. So whether with an error, a walk, or a base knock, just get on first, get on second, and swipe either second or third base, and we cash a winning ticket. Again, a plus 145 there at BetMGM. With those plus wagers on the board, let's get after it on some more action on this Freaky Friday with another edition of the Fade 5.
Number 5.
All right, numero cinco, let's go out to the left coast, which indeed is the best coast. It's where the Chicago Cubs are going to be at tonight in La La Land, taking on the Dodgers. And Lundy, I know you're not a big fan of specific hit props, but man, I love this one. Dansby Swanson, and you have to say with that kind of accent and pinkies out every time you say such a fancy name. I think he gets a single. Just one bagger, minus 110 at DraftKings. This juice is too low because Swanson has been a singles machine this season. A guy that's already got 14 single base hits. 14 this year, and he's missed a couple of games. He's expected back. He had a case of the cramps in his side a couple of games ago. Missed a game that I was attended for against the Seattle Mariners a couple of days ago. The Cubs were off yesterday as they made the trip out west, but he is expected to be back in action tonight. And who is toe of the rubber but none other than the stolen base friendly Noah Syndergaard, who has already given up a couple of steals this season and led the National League in stolen bases allowed last year. I think it was like 33 in total that he had given up. So it's Swanson may get on base and swipe a bag, but I need just a single base knock. He's 8 for 18 against Syndergaard in his career with 7 of those 8 hits of the one bag variety. So a lot of great history there. And again, I like Swanson and early bonus time for a stolen base in this one, but all I need, and for the sake of this prop, is a single over a half of those at minus 110 at DraftKings. Lundy, bear the bias here, your disdain for such wagers. Fade or follow Swanson on the over half a single, minus 110 at DraftKings.
Why do I have to bury my bias? I'm allowed to be biased. What the hell? I'm not burying crap for you. You know, if I want to be biased against you and you're, it's going to be a single. We're going to do, okay.
A single.
We're going to argue. We're going here now, huh? We're going to argue about this.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. You can have, I love, by the way, your stolen base call. However, not as much as the one that I'm going to share when you get to bonus time. I like this one for the Cubbies. Give me Swanson. Give me the guy on base. Your stolen base. He's only got one this season. And by the way, the number you were looking for Syndergaard last season was 30. He led the majors in stolen bases allowed. He was allowed left and right. Dudes are just stealing on him constantly. Second on that list, by the way, is the other guy that we love to talk about from a stolen base standpoint, and that's Alcantara of the Marlins. He allowed 24 last season. So yeah, pretty ridiculous. But yeah, we're giving up all of those left and right. I'll take a single at minus 110. Sure. Why not? Nice little simple base knock. Maybe a blooper there at Chavez Ravine. What do you think?
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Or line drive variety. Doesn't matter to me. Dansby Swanson scores a single so we can cash a damn ticket.
Number 4.
All right, no more Quattro. Let's go to the Mile High City. And that game, thankfully, not going to be played there with snow in the forecast. This game being played in the Great Northwest against the Seattle Mariners. And I have fallen in love with this prop, Lundy, and it's available at DraftKings. And that is over-under on player strikeouts, batter strikeouts, not pitchers. But batter strikeouts in a game, and I'm going to apply that tonight to Jurickson Profar, the leadoff man for the Rockies, or the Pebbles, if you want to call them that. I think that nickname does apply. It's just a strikeout. Will he strike out one time against the M's tonight? I say yes, he does, and it's minus 120. At DraftKings. You look at Profar this season, he's got a 17.1 strikeout percentage so far this year. And a guy also that has 6 career punch outs and 20 at-bats in his career against Marco Gonzalez, who's going to be on the bump for the M's tonight. Profar, too, has recorded at least one strikeout in a game in 6 of his first 10 contests. And I know Gonzalez only has a 5.06 K per 9 through his first couple of starts. He had one strikeout in his first start and 5 strikeouts in the last one. But given the history here, given the free swinging ways of Profar, and knowing too, he's probably going to see a minimum of 4 at-bats, assuming that he's batting leadoff tonight for Colorado. I love this wager. A little bit juicier, again, at -120 at DraftKings. But Lundy, fade or follow Profar over half a strikeout up there in Seattle. What do you say?
I could same game parlay this with all kinds of stuff. Can we just get like all of the Rockies to strike out? Just like straight down the box score, all of them with a K. I'm enjoying the fact that they're sucking as badly as they are. It just makes life really fun around here in Denver. We do a thing called the Road to 100, which is just waiting for the Rockies to lose 100 games, which they manage to just barely avoid every year, but we just keep waiting for it to happen until the dipshit that owns the team decides to sell them. Hey, Mark Cuban, want a baseball team? Yes, take the over here. Profar's a lot of fun. Because he is a feast or famine guy. He could get the strikeout. He also could rope one down the line for a double. It's just, he's a lot of fun to watch. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a curveball because that's really what the Rockies need is pitchers. They don't need dudes that can hit. Take the strikeout. This is one I'd be willing to pay the juice on this one. Hell, go find somebody else that's going to swing and miss out there and parlay the two of them together if you want to.
Yeah, wield some light lumber tonight, please. Jurickson Profar.
Number 3.
Numero tres on the Fate 5 podcast today. It is a little SGP/OGP action on the New York Metropolitans, who are on the road against the hapless and hopeless Oakland Athletics, one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball. They're going to be dungeon dwellers for much of this season, but one guy who's lived up to the hype, and it's not nearly as high as like Shohei Ohtani, but an import from across the left coast pond, the much wider pond in the Pacific. And across that pond, he was a 3-time All-Star, and that is Kodai Senga. And he's got a pitch called the Ghost Fork, which I have watched, and it just falls out of the zone and bewilders hitters. Not only that, he's got a plus fastball that registers in the mid-90s, plus slider and a cutter as well. But it's that fork that, again, is just leaving a lot of hitters completely frustrated and embarrassed at times. So I think Kodai Senga gets at least 6 strikeouts tonight against the A's and the New York Metropolitans. Let's correlate, synergize, bring it all together. And I think Senga is going to go out there and do some damage and really dominate on the rubber. I think the Mets are going to get the win. So give me them on the money line on that 2-legger, plus 125. So some decent juice there available at DraftKings. Give you some background on Senga. He's faced Miami twice to begin the season and his Major League Baseball career. He has gone for 6 strikeouts and 8 strikeouts in both of those contests. A guy over that 11 1/3 innings pitch has a couple of earned runs. Most importantly, Lundy, an extraordinary 20.6% called strike percentage, which is meaning he's got pinpoint control. Whether with a Ghost Fork or some of the other offerings that I already outlined. You look at Oakland, they have the 11th highest K percentage at 24.1 in Major League Baseball, and 6 batters that are adorning Rays colors have already punched out at least 10 times this year. So it's a great matchup for Senga. And again, with his nasty, with his filthy stuff, I think the 6 Ks on the alt total is the approach here with the Mets winning as well. So Lundy, fade or follow on this SGP/OGP. Kodai Senga, 6+ strikeouts, and the Mets to get the W at Oakland, minus 125 at DraftKings.
I don't often say it. This is a no-brainer. Take it. This is a no-brainer. I do. I think this is a fantastic bet, and the fact that you've got it at plus 125. The Mets are going to come back in bonus time. I'll talk about that in a second. Love Senga for the K's. Yeah, bravo, dude. Bravo. Well done. Well done, my friend.
This is a rarity here on the Fate 5 podcast. Lundy biting his tongue and not talking shit. Way to go, Senga!
Number 2.
All right, numero dos here on the Fake 5 podcast. Let's go to the NBA play-in games. A lot on the line for the franchises in action tonight, including the Chicago Bulls. His daughter is not going to be in attendance screaming and really annoying those around her and those at the free throw line, but credit her for the bedazzled outfit that she adorned in Toronto. But she's got to go to school. That's what Demar said. She can't be in attendance for the action tonight in Miami, but her dad is going to make three, Lundy. Just one. That's all I need. Give me the over on DeRozan. Half the threes made against the Heat. Minus 145. A little bit higher juice, so I'm still playing it. Available at DraftKings Sportsbook. You look at DeMar. Against Miami this season, 2 made threes, 0 made threes, and 2 made threes. We know he's not exactly known for his outside stroke, but he has been jacking more attempts from along the perimeter here. Over his last 4 games, 3.3 attempts per game to be exact, and he has hit the over, meaning he's made it just 1 3 in 5 of his last 8 contests. Miami in their last 10, middle of the pack in terms of 3-pointers made, giving up 12.4, and they've also allowed 35.7% of those attempts to fall through the cylinder. And DeRozan, he may do this early. It's like Scotty Barnes the other night against the Bulls. It was a half a made 3. I've wagered on that if you watch live on the line across Valley Sports and at Stadium. And Barnes hit it like in the first 3 minutes of the game. Could be a similar story for DeMar DeRozan tonight. So Luddy, fade or follow. DeRozan over half of made 3. Does he get one in the bucket against the Heat? Minus 145 at DraftKings.
I'm tired of agreeing with you. This is dumb. This is stupid. This isn't entertaining. They want the people. You said the people wanted consistency out of this podcast, and one of the consistencies is me yelling at you, and yet you keep picking. It's a friendly Friday edition of the program, apparently, because I'm just kumbaya with this shit. Yeah, give me the 3 on the road against Miami. Love it. Love it. This is so much fun. Let's just hug it out. Let's just verbally hug it out. It's great.
Please extend your hand down to my buttocks and give me a squeeze, Lundy, because there's a lot of love in the air right now. Maybe Lundy's going to fade me up next.
Number 1.
Numero uno on the Fade 5 podcast today. Let's go to the other game in the NBA. We got Oklahoma City taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm going to go with Giddy Up, the Australian import, and Josh Giddey to record a double-double. And he got some nice juice there at plus 110 available at BetMGM. And there is a typo for those of you that are watching this podcast. And I'm correcting in real time because I can multitask like that. It wasn't at Miami. It's at Minnesota. But why do I like Josh Giddey in this one to get a double-double? Well, he's done it, once, twice, 3 times against the T-Wolves this season. He went for 11 and 13 the first matchup, 21 and 12. And that second stat there is in rebounds. 10 and 2 in the third. That was the game that he kind of took a step back. And then 14-11 the last time he faced them. Yeah, Minnesota in their last 10 games have allowed the 13 fewest assists per game and the 7th fewest rebounds per game to opponents. But it's all about Giddey's versatility, and it's all about his distribution of stats. So he could get this done in rebounds and points again, but he also drops a ton of dimes per contest. He's a triple-double threat every time he is on the floor, and I just need 10 or more in 2 of those 3 categories. So he's got to get it done at points. Will he get it done in rebounds or assists? That's what you're really wagering on here. I say yes, indeed he does, given the sterling history he has had against the Minnesota Timberwolves this season. So Lundy, fade or follow. Josh, Giddy Up on a double-double at Minnesota, plus 110 at BetMGM.
Well, I'm a fan because you got plus odds. So I'm a fan of that one, but it's not, it's not my favorite double-double bet. It's not. So no, it's not. It's not my favorite on the board. I'll share with you. I'll tell you what, I think he's going to be challenged to get to the rebound number. I think that's why you're seeing the number that you're seeing at plus odds. But in the interest of the audio hug that we're having here on a Friendly Friday edition of the podcast, I will go ahead and follow, even though I'm a little reluctant to do so.
Ooh, once again, a squeeze of Brad Evans' buttocks there by Nate Lundy on Josh Giddey with a double-double. All right, before we get out of here, it's bonus time. Lundy, you've offered quite the tease on this already, so do share.
Let's have some fun here. First of all, I said it wasn't my favorite double-double. Here are my favorite double-double. Oh, and it's a double-double-double-double. It's a quad.
Is that an In-N-Out special?
No, it's not, but it is something you pay extra for, Cotton. What we've got is, give me in the first game of the play-in this evening, give me Nikola Vucevic for a double-double. And, oh, Brad, yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to parlay it together with a double-double, a double-double for Rudy Gobert. Put both of those together, and you've got plus 171 over at DraftKings. Love both of those guys to be able to slam home the double-double for tonight. Vucevic should have no problem doing it from a point standpoint, and we know that he can be able to get the boards. Same thing with Gobert. Even if he finishes with like 10 points, doesn't matter. Just clean the glass for me, Rudy.
And don't punch your teammates.
And try not to punch anybody. That's exactly right. But Rudy Gobert, Nikola Vucevic, both of them get a double-double. You parlay that together at DraftKings, you get it at plus 171. That's it for me in the play-in games tonight, because I'm just going to be watching to figure out who the hell the Nuggets are going to be playing. And by the way, that game is at like freaking midnight on Sunday night. Screw you, NBA. That is absolute crap. All right. You mentioned Dansby for the potential of a stolen base. I actually like Nico. Give me Nico Horner.
Yes, love Nico.
And his number has also come down. He's only at a plus 170 for a stolen base. So I like that by itself. But let me go back to the well that has been oh so profitable, dripping gold coins my way, and that is of the Philadelphia Phillies. Give me one Bryson Stott for a stolen base as well. He is plus 500 for a stolen base for this evening. By the way, earlier this week, I took him and Trey Turner in a same game parlay for a stolen base, plus 1,300. Stuck on that one, books. So I want to share with you, I told you I like Horner, okay? I told you I like Stott. If you're feeling frisky, parlay both of those together at DraftKings for plus 1,520 if they both get a stolen base. Again, I've said this before. I say it on the TV show as well. Don't go crazy with your bankroll on these, but if you want to throw $5 on it, it's a hell of a payoff if both of those guys swipe a bag. Much like the commercials that were taking place during March Madness. I'm on the road again. Give me two road teams that I like tonight on the money line. One of them Brad already gave you. That's the New York Mets. I will take the Mets on the road against Oakland. Then give me the Braves on the road against Kansas City. Just got a gut feel here for Atlanta to pick up the victory in KC. If you take both of those NL East teams and put them together, Atlanta and the Mets on the money line, it's plus 155 over at FanDuel. So you can pop those two together to be able to get themselves a very nice victory on the road. And then I told you about Kyle Tucker at plus 110 for two total bases. Here's a same game parlay for you. You're going to have to watch the lineup to see whether or not Martin Maldonado is catching for them in the contest tonight. But if he is, assuming that he gets the start, take him and Kyle Tucker to both have two total bases in that one. And that same game parlay pays you a plus 290. Both of them with batting averages north of 450 against Perez. So really like that one. Give me two total bases for each of them, plus 290. As always, yield the floor to the gentleman from Illinois.
Yeah, I'm going to add to that, actually, because I have the exact same prop, but I'm going to take it down a level. I've got Maldonado to get a hit and Kyle Tucker to get a hit on an OGP, and you put those two together at BetMGM, it's plus 160 to simplify the process, you mentioned the storied history each of those guys has against Martin Perez. Maldonado 10 for 21 in his career. Kyle Tucker 6 for 14. So I'm completely on board. I love the total bases, taking it up a notch. Or if you just go with a base knock a piece, you still get it at plus odds. So that is an outstanding play. Elsewhere, the Team Huevos parlay play of the day. No, it's not a multitude of stolen base props strung together that Lundy usually likes to play. A little bit lower juice on this. But we got to go with a history play because Tampa could have the most glorious start to a Major League Baseball season all time tonight with another victory, and I say they get it. So I'm going to go with an SGP, Tampa on the money line. They score the win. Tampa, who scored over 100 runs already this season, leading the major leagues. All I need is 3 more runs. I need a Randy Arozarena hit, which he has done in 11 of 12 contests. And then I need Jose Berrios, the Toronto Blue Jays, who they are facing, to give up 5 or more hits.
Berrios sucks. Jump all over this.
Berrios is absolutely atrocious. If you need evidence, he's given up a 51.6 hard hit percentage already this year, along with 15 total hits and 14 earned runs in his first 2 turns of the rotation. So to recap, Rays money line, Rays 3+ runs, Arozarena to get a hit, and Berrios to give up 5 or more hits, plus 160 at BetMGM. Yeah, and grab that history, Rays. It's been a great story so far this Major League Baseball season. All right, elsewhere, bonus time. I'm with you on Nico Hoerner to get a stolen base. I like that one quite a bit. I had that one written down as well. I'm also going to go with Nelson Cruz. Now, there is no prop out yet on him at tape time in the Padres matchup against the Milwaukee Brewers, but I expect him to be in the lineup. Last night, he rarely got a start against a right-handed pitcher. Tonight, a southpaw is on the mound. I expect him to again DH, probably bat 4 or 5 in the Pods lineup, and that left-hander is other than Eric Lauer, whose velo is down for the Brewers. And my God, has Nelson Cruz crushed him in his career. He is 5 for 8 lifetime against the southpaw with a couple extra base hits, a home run, and an RBI to 1.792 OPS. So I'm going to take the over on 1.5 total bases, whatever its service is at, assuming that he is in the lineup. Not only that, but Lundy, you know that Nelson Cruz came up in the Brewers system, and ever since the Brewers traded him as part of, it was him and Carlos Lee for like Kevin Minch and a couple other guys, Francisco Cordero back in the day, he has murdered his former franchise. Last year, he had 545. He was 12 for 22 against the Brewers in 2022. So he has absolutely destroyed them, reminded them, yeah, we made a terrible, colossal mistake way back in like 2006, trading you away for that trio of players in the Texas Rangers deal. But I think Nelly Cruz, again, assuming he's in the lineup tonight, he is going to blast Eric Lauer. Could be a homer, could be a double, could be a pair of singles, hell, it could be a triple. Doesn't really matter. I'm taking the over on total bases 1.5. It'll likely come out at plus odds, and I am all over it. Elsewhere, here's another OGP for you tonight. In the Cincinnati and Philadelphia Phillies game, I'm going to go with the Reds, 3 or more runs. Give me the Phillies, 4 or more runs. And then give me Connor Overton, who is taking the ball for Cincinnati, to get at least 3+ strikeouts, plus 160 on that trio, OGP or at BetMGM. The Reds have scored at least 3 runs 10 times this season. The Philadelphia Phillies have scored at least 4 runs in a game 9 times this season. And each of the last 3 matchups against Cincinnati. And then you look at Connor Overton. He got rocked the last time he faced the Phillies, but he had 4 strikeouts in that game. And the other start against the Cubs, he had 5 strikeouts in that one. He's got a 10+ K per 9 and a 32.4 call plus swinging strike percentage, which is outstanding. Though the ERA is a little bit inflated right now, well north of 6 as a result. But again, Cincinnati 3+, Philadelphia 4+ runs, Overton 3+ Ks. That is plus 160. And then I'll give you one extra bonus play. The weekend NBA playoff matches. The player props are already out. And I love the over on Steph Curry rebounds plus assists at DraftKings, sitting at 11.5. Most of the books have this at 12.5. It's a little bit juicier. It's minus 140 as a result with that tick lower at DraftKings. But play the over. Take advantage. Pay the juice. In his matchups of this season against Sacramento, he went 7, 16, 10, and 13. So over in 2 of the 4 regular season affairs. But in 8 of his last 11 games, he has had at least 12 combined rebounds plus assists. You look at Sacramento over the last 10, the 9th most assists per game in the NBA allowed, and the 15th most rebounds per game in the NBA allowed on top of that. So I think Curry is going to get at least a dozen and combined rebounds plus assists in that Saturday matchup. All right, we're out of time here on the Fade 5 podcast. Do us a favor, would you kindly, and drop us a rating and a review at your earliest convenience. Also, fade or follow us on the Twitter. Check out Lundy's free spreadsheet picks at Nate Lundy. Check out my free spreadsheet picks updated daily at Noisy Huevos. For Nate Lundy, I'm Brad Evans. Until next time, as always, fade or follow. That is up to you.